This is a letter to the Brisbane recycler. First of all, let me start by saying thank you for caring. Your effort is being noticed and helps the rest of us, not to mention the environment we all share. I started my life in the development industry and saw an incredible amount of waste and inefficiency there. I was a young man and made a profession out of asking dumb questions. Why are we doing this? And I used to get the answer that that's the way we've always done it. In Australia, we currently recycle about half of our waste, which is an incredible achievement considering all of our waste went into landfill only one generation ago. The challenge with conventional recycling of glass back into glass is it has to be so pure that a teacup handle of ceramics in 1 tonne of glass will actually destroy the kiln, costing about $20 million. What you might not know is that despite your best efforts, about 60% of the glass that you put into your recycling bin is rejected from the current recycling process due to purity constraints and unfortunately ends up in landfill. What we do at Envirosand isn't all that complex. We need to just take the rubbish out of the resources that we need to recycle. Easier said than done. This involves sorting, use of magnets, use of gravity, use of technology to separate the paper, the plastics and the metals from the commingled glass that we get, which looks like a pile of rubbish when it's delivered to us. That's why we started Envirosand. We're using innovative technology to turn waste glass into sand and glass particles, which replace materials traditionally sourced from places like the sandhills of Stradbroke Island. It makes sense from a business perspective and is good for the natural environment at the same time. It simply isn't feasible to keep sourcing sand from a natural environment. When you take it out of the natural environment, you have to have an impact on the natural habitat and the land around as you're leaving a hole in the ground. And you just can't recreate that. So it's silly to be using only material sourced from the natural environment when there's a recycling option. Our process replaces sand and other precious minerals like garnet, which are used in water filtration, 3D printing, sandblasting, construction materials and the bitumen on our roads. When you get into a new area such as this, often the problem is actually an opportunity. Our problem was that the dust that was actually in the plant was quite challenging to collect. But when we collected it, we produced a new product we call moon dust, and we're getting up to $1,000 a tonne for that for use in 3D printing. With your help and support from industry partners like Visy and Brisbane City Council, we're keeping glass out of landfill, protecting our natural environment and reducing the demand on our precious natural resources. Just as we now look back on the last generation and say it was crazy to put all their waste in landfill, I hope the next generation will look back and say that we were crazy, that we were actually only recycling 50% of our waste and not 100%. Together, we can do something greater. My name is Jim McNulty, the founder of Envirosand, creating new uses for waste glass. This is my greater outcome.